Welcome to Keepin' It Real, your go-to radio show for fresh insights and vibrant introductions. Get ready to dive into a world where we offer you the latest in real estate wisdom and the juiciest community tidbits. From expert advice courtesy of top realtors to opportunities to give back through local charities, we've got you covered. Plus, we'll shine a spotlight on the young athletes driving our local sports scene and uncover the buzzworthy happenings both in town and beyond. Stay tuned for a jam-packed hour of enlightenment and entertainment right here on Keepin' It Real.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm here at the Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios, right here behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. And today we have a great lineup today, wonderful guest. I'm excited to have him in the studio. But before we get to that, I kind of want to give a shout out to a couple of things that are going on this week and then in the coming weeks. Definitely want to get you out to Pirates of the Caribbean, the 2025 Relay for Life of Sierra Vista. It's today at 2 o'clock. It runs till 10 o'clock at Veterans Memorial Park. So that's where it's all going down. It's a great event, and it's a community gathering, team fundraising, it's a cancer walk where members take turns walking around the track, signifying cancer never sleeps, and it symbolizes perseverance and the actions needed to change the future of cancer for their patients. Now, the mission of Relay for Life is to raise funds to improve cancer survival, decrease the evidence of cancer, and improve the quality of life for cancer patients and their caretakers. The American Cancer Society's vision is to end cancer as we know it for everyone. And their signature elements at this event is there's a celebration of cancer survivors and caregivers. I think that's pretty cool that they include the caregivers in there too, because they're a big part of it, whether they're family, friends, or licensed caregivers. But it's such a great, event. The Luminaria will be there to honor and remember the loved ones and the opportunities to fight back against cancer. It's a great time to get out there. And, so many people have been touched by cancer. Almost everybody knows somebody who has passed from cancer, a family member, a friend, but he was touched by cancer and beat it, but a lot of people have been touched by this thing, and this is a really big event. And it's why they all wear purple. Every cancer has its own designated color, and purple represents all types of cancer, and it symbolizes hope. This is the 31st year for Sierra Vista participating in this event that's been 40 years running. So it's just an amazing activity. There's going to be a live DJ, theme laps, the frozen teas, hula hoops, bubbles. The JROTC is going to do cadence and all kinds of cool stuff out there. You'll have treasure hunt, raffles, great prizes. There's even going to be a kids play and activity area, which is really cool. They brought that back. And then there's the Mr. Relay, and which everybody loves, and the food vendors. So definitely a great opportunity. Come out all throughout the day. You don't have to stay the whole time, but if you want to, there's some great things, and there's going to be some surprise prizes for those people who stick around. So definitely want to try to do that. And that's a spectacular chance to win great prizes. And so you won't want to miss that. Again, this is just a great opportunity to gather together to kind of celebrate cancer survivors and get out there and walk for somebody or walk in memory of somebody or send up one of those luminarias. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be holding those things down in place with canned food. So don't forget, bring your canned foods. Make sure it's not expired. It should be, good through the end of the summer, this next summer, 2026. So I think it's June or July 2026. They want those things to still be good by then, because obviously they're going to give them to a food pantry, and that's super, super, super important. So just something out there. Another shout out we want to give, just a special shout out to the Lions Club International. The Huachuca City Lions Club's offering a car show, and you know how we love car shows. We do. It's also today, and it's really coming up fast. Registration's open from 9 to 10 a.m. The show's from 9 to 1 p.m. It's only $20 the day of, and there's a 50-50 raffle and door prize raffles, so definitely want to take part of that. There's trophies awarded at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, food vendor on site. It's located across from City Hall near the city pool in Huachuca City. So that's the Huachuca City Lions Club car show, and a great opportunity to come down and bring your car if you're a car enthusiast, or even if, you just want to hang out and see some cool stuff, that's a great place to be. Now, one of the things we want to give a shout out to, we got Halloween coming up in the park at Veterans Memorial Park. The Women's Council of Realtors, they are putting on that huge event, and it's going to be so much fun. There's going to be all kinds of trick-or-treaters. So many people come out in town, thousands of people, all dressed up. It's really fun. It's great to see the kids out there. They enjoy this great environment, get tons of candy at one place. Great opportunity for parents, I'm sure. But they need volunteers too. So if you're interested, contact the Women's Council of Realtors here in town. They'd love to be able to help you get involved at the Halloween in the park. And that's at Veterans Memorial Park on Halloween, the 31st. Now, one last thing, too, we want to shout out for is the third annual Pups on Parade. That's right. The pups are back. It's a free, family-friendly event, and it is not like any other dog show you've ever seen. So this dog show is shelter dogs are the show dogs, and a little different kind of a twist. And they're from the Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center right here in town, our local shelter. So it's in cooperation with the Sierra Vista Police Department and the Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center. That's all the wonderful ACOs and folks out there who work there and volunteer there. They'll all be out for Pups on Parade this year. It's brought to you by Doc's Watering Hole, where it'll be held at, and the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. And it'll be on November 15th, 2025 at Doc's Watering Hole from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. There's going to be on-site adoptions for those of you who would like to get a pet and are considering that, so you'll have that opportunity. And, of course, there will be awesome food and beverages, great music, a silent auction, vendors, and, of course, those puppy hugs and kisses. You can come down and meet the pups themselves before and after the event. So it's a great opportunity to come down, celebrate these great dogs, and to give them some love out there and cheer them on as they strut their stuff down the big green runway, that turf runway. They really love the event. I think you'll love the event. Come down to Doc's Watering Hole on November 15th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and enjoy Pups on Parade. Now, one thing I do want to mention is we're still looking for silent auction sponsors. So that silent auction, we're accepting donations from both individuals and businesses for these. Build a basket, donate an item, or simply donate some funds to purchase an auction item, and we'll take care of the rest and put it in your name. We're happy to display business cards, logos, or your name with your generous gift, or if you want to be anonymous, we got you covered for that too. We'd love to have you at the show. Remember that all donations are tax deductible and benefit the nonprofit Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter in support of the Sierra Vista Police Department and the Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center. Or you could sponsor a pup. Now, the sponsorships, they're special. So they actually help cover some of the medical costs, the adoption fees. We get them all spayed and neutered and vaccinated and get them all ready, get their health checked out, and before they go out to adoption. So we want to make them all ready to go and free. Last year, we actually sponsored every single dog at the shelter. We hope to do that again. So it's only $300 to sponsor a show dog, or $150 for one of the shelter dogs left behind. And you'll see their pictures. You'll get your name and your business if you've got a business, or it could be an individual or family. And we'd love to show that up on the big screens. We give shout outs on social media, shout outs to the event, and best yet, your gift will help cover all those medical and adoption fees that go to the shelter dogs to get them on the road to finding their forever home. And don't forget, they're all tax deductible, and they benefit your local nonprofit, Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter, in their support of the SVPD and the Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center. Call Sherry at 717-599-2439, and we can get you hooked up with a sponsorship of these great pups or the silent auction. Again, that's Pups on Parade. That's November 15th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hope to see you there cheering on the pups. And don't forget to pick your favorite pup, because you get to pick the award for that. And there'll be all kinds of awards for all the pups and some great opportunities to hand those out. So come on down. Let's get everybody involved and help us out with this great cause. So we're going to get our guest into the studio and settle in and get him all ready. And we'll be right back after these brief messages.
What's in a name? Everything. Long Realty has been a cornerstone of Southern Arizona's real estate market for nearly 100 years. Our name is our bond, and our agents are our strength. Trust in the name that stands for experience and expertise. Visit longrealty.com or call 520-459-4993 to connect with an agent today. Long Realty. Smart move.
Good morning, good Saturday morning, and welcome to the Keepin' It Real radio show brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios right here behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Got a wonderful show today. I got Bill Bonner in here from Rain Photography, and he's going to talk to us all about photography and the art form. And welcome to the show. It's your first time here.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited to be here.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, and I don't know that actually we've ever done a photographer on the show, so that's kind of cool. Another new first. But before we kind of get down the road a little bit, we always do this with our guests. We kind of get to know the person behind the business. Behind every business is a cool person here in the community, and behind every person is a story. And so we like to tell that story a little bit. So first start off, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, how'd you get to Sierra Vista? How'd that happen?
Sure. I was actually born in Germany. My dad did 21 years Army and served kind of Germany, then Sierra Vista in Germany, and then Sierra Vista, and he retired.
Oh, wow.
So,
retired here.
Yeah. And so, I was along for the ride. And that's kind of how I got here, finished high school here, and then did college up in Tucson, got married, had kids, and came back. But my parents have stayed here.
The whole time?
Yeah, the whole time.
After they retired and kind of like that?
Yeah, and so, I come back for holidays and weekends and stuff like that. And then,
What made you decide to kind of end up moving here then after college and all of that?
Yeah, I'd say there was a couple days where I'm just sitting in traffic up in Tucson, and it was just like hours of my life being wasted. Why am I here? Yeah, and Tucson's not the greater part of Tucson is not very pretty, So it's just like you're sitting in industrial, sucking fumes of on the interstate at a standstill, and you're just like, man, I don't know. And so it was kind of like that. And then when we had kids, packing up the whole house to go, run a simple errand, it was 30 minutes one way, and then you unpack the car and you get in the car, get in the whatever you're doing, mailbox or grocery store or whatever you're doing, and then you pack everyone back up and you drive a half hour back, and then you gotta unpack into that. It was just my life.
Yeah.
it was too much. And so we wanted to come back and kind of a little slower pace. I love to travel, but it's great to have a real soft landing. Just a
That's a great way to put it.
A good place to be here, and the weather's always great. And I've been around in the community for a long time, so it's I know a lot of people, and it just kind of fit.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, you said you were born in Germany. Do you have any memories of Germany?
Oh, yeah. We were there about 7 years. So, because we did two
back and forth.
Yeah, 2 tours there. So, I remember the food. I remember a lot of the villages and stuff. My dad was really good about, the Volks marches and stuff, doing the big hikes and stuff throughout the lands. And we did a couple things out into a couple tours into Holland and Austria and Switzerland. And, so I remember a lot of that.
Cool stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
But not every kid gets to do that.
No.
Now, did you pick up some of the language while you were there?
So, just like they have Spanish class here, they had German class there.
Yeah.
So I can count to 10 probably. That's probably what I got.
Yeah.
And
it's funny how if you don't use it all the time, it kind of starts to drift away a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. I spoke Spanish a lot during my career, and then although I could probably interrogate you better than I could ask you about your lunch, but I didn't get to use it very much in those last few years, and so I try to practice it every once in a while.
Right.
But it's slipped away a little bit, so it's tough.
Yeah, it is.
So I appreciate learning a little bit about you and your family and everything, and now your kids are here and they're going to school here locally. What do you like about Sierra Vista? I mean, what are some of your favorites about this town?
I love that everything's close by.
Yeah.
And there really isn't anything that you have to go out of town for unless it's something specialty. Everything can be accomplished in town in 10 minutes or less, and string a couple errands together and you'd be back home and be done. I think that's what I think of right away. And then obviously, like I said, the weather. The weather's just always really great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And great sunsets. It's good that good desert sunsets, and then the diversity. I mean, that you can do. I always tell people that aren't from here, you can do anything in a day.
Yeah.
You could go snowboarding and surfing within a day's drive. and it's just located in a place where you have the mountains, you can get access to a beach, you can, you have parks, you have all the exploration you wanted to ever do outdoors.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so even for me as photography, the conversation always starts like, what do you like in the area? What do you like most? What's foreign to you? And so as you have like kind of a transient community, they'll be like, oh, well, I've never seen mountains. I'd love to have mountains in my photos. Okay, we'll do that. Then it's like other people that maybe have been here the whole time, they want fall colors or something, maybe that you
can't find right exactly here, so you got to drive a little bit too.
Yeah. Had
That's
people
cool.
like, I'd love, saguaros, or, big cactuses, big desert, and we can do that. And then, out west, we have Sonoyta, which is like rolling grasslands. It's like prairie. Yeah. And so anyways, it's just, and there's water. There's water in the area. Like you have to look for it, but it's not like super easy and prevalent. Right. But, there is water if people really want water in their photos and stuff like that. So anyways, it's kind of one of those fun things. One of my clients had asked me, like, I'd love to have, green in my pictures. And they're like, well, when are we shooting? And it's like January. You want green photos in January? And I mean, I found it. I knew a place. But it was just one of those things where, like, there's so much diversity that allows me to stay just very fresh, I guess. Yeah. And, having grown up in the area, I know a lot of places. I was a Boy Scout growing up, so a lot of camping. And so, like, I know, like, the back roads and stuff like that, and I'm always looking for something new. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of leads into our conversation about rain photography and kind of getting into your profession. Mm-hmm. So where did rain photography come from? Sure. Where did the name rain come from? Sure. Almost sounds German.
Yeah, right. I'm a Christian photographer, and so I love the royal theme of the Bible. Okay. And so I kind of always knew if I had a business growing up, it was going to be rain. I just like that. It was like, it's strong, it's masculine, romantic. And so when I came in and had the logo designed, like I kind of talked about some of that vision. Yeah. And the guy was great and ran with it and came up with a really good logo. And so, yeah, it was just something that isn't super upfront in your face, but it was like something that you could read and understand. Like, there's a little cross in the camera.
Yeah, I see that on your shirt. It's got the little, for those who are listening, and can't see it, he's got a little camera beside the rain, and it's got a kind of subtle cross right in the lens.
Yeah. So it's just, it's just one of those things where that's the way I view the world. Like, that's my lens, if you will. Okay. And so that's kind of where it started. The other side piece of it was I didn't want to name it after myself, just in case, like, my kids wanted it.
Okay, that's kind of a good thing. That's nice.
It kind of is something that maybe future forward they could, if they had the gumption to take on and be a photographer in their lives, then it would be something they could easily take when I was ready. So that was the idea.
Very cool. Very cool. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. We're going to talk to Bill Bonner some more about rain photography and what it's like to be a photographer and some of the special things you need to know when going into that field. We'll be right back, folks, after these messages. Keep it real. Cochise County, it's that time again. The third annual Pups on Parade is back at Doc's Watering Hole Saturday, November 15th from 11 to 2 p.m.
That's right. Join us at Doc's for music, food, vendors, a silent auction, on-site adoptions, and of course the all-shelter dog pup pageant. 10 amazing dogs from our local shelter will strut their stuff down the runway, competing in fun categories.
This must-see event benefits the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter in cooperation with the Sierra Vista Police Department and the whole team at Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center.
Want to help our pups? Businesses and any community member who just loves dogs can donate a basket for the auction or sponsor a pup. $300 for show dogs, $150 for dogs back at the shelter. Call 717-599-2439 for details.
Sponsors get their name up on the big screens at Doc's, on the social media, and shout-outs throughout the show. It's a great way to give back and help the community.
It's a family affair, so bring your friends and family, enjoy some great food, and meet some possum dogs at the big show.
It's Pups on Parade, Saturday, November 15th at Doc's Watering Hole, because every dog deserves their day.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving Sierra Vista, we agree. For military law and retirees, stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Real experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trusted team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
All right, folks, welcome back to Keepin' It Real. I'm Dion Ethell. I'm your host, and this is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios right here in sunny Sierra Vista. And I'm joined with Rain Photography, Bill Bonner. He's the owner-operator, and we're talking photography. So you kind of went through the Rain and how it came about and everything. When did you first start getting interested in photography? How far does it go back?
Yeah. So my mom reminded me in fourth grade, I think we were in Germany, and the school or King or something in the area put out a contest, photo contest.
Okay.
And they handed out, disposable cameras to kids and go take pictures around. Anyways, I ended up winning that. I forget what it was. Big gift card to Burger King probably or something like that.
Yeah.
And the picture hung in the restaurant. And I think that's maybe how far back it goes.
Wow, fourth grade, that's kind of pretty far.
So I always knew I took pictures different. I could watch my dad take a picture and know, you could do it a little different with a better outcome. And, not knowing anything about it, just knowing, like, looking at the scene and looking at what was going on.
So you always had the eye for it.
Yeah, it's kind of there.
Do you feel like it's an artistic eye, or is it something different?
It's it's a couple different pieces, but yes, how when you boil it down, it's how do you take 3 dimensions and make it look good in 2? You know what I mean? That's kind of just like we're on an audio radio show, and I'm talking visual. You know what I mean? It's like the same idea. Is like, how do you take a scene and layer it so that when you compress it into a 2-dimensional picture, it looks good, or it's aesthetically pleasing, And so then, kind of going into, I guess, college, I had an opportunity to take electives and jumped into black and white photography, film photography. And that's kind of where I learned the rules. That's kind of like, the rules of thirds, leading lines, stuff like that you would learn in school. Why one thing works, why one thing doesn't. Learn the rules, then break the rules. That was always the thing.
Okay.
So this is how you do it, but then do it different, and then you can come up with something different and new.
Yeah, because there's a lot of photographers out there,
Sure.
obviously, and I think most of us, from our area at least, we kind of like grew up with a real camera, not your phone, and so everybody was learning how to use a camera back then. Seems like there's not as many people now actually taking pictures with a real camera.
Yeah, photography is very accessible now. Anyone with a phone, like you said, can go out and take great
and they're
pictures.
Pretty amazing pictures. Some of them, the phone does.
You can edit
good.
them on the phone. You can do everything. So
well, we'll definitely have to talk about that and what that does to the industry. But
sure.
Let me ask you. So you've been, obviously, this has been a passion of yours your whole life. When did rain photography become a thing?
Yeah. So after that college class, family kind of chipped in, gave me a DSLR, like a bigger camera, and I was just shooting kind of the family with it and stuff like that, hobby stuff. And people would ask me every year, okay, can you take my Christmas card picture? And I'd go out and do that. And then it must have been 2013, 2014. And someone asked me, hey, can you shoot my twin sister's wedding?
Oh, wow.
I was like,
that's a big step.
I was like, I have zero clue when it comes to the wedding. And so anyways, I did some research, and I said, as long as you understand, this is what it is. I'm a new hobbyist. It's not going to be, the ability is not going to be there. And, we negotiate on a price, and I need a couple specific pieces of equipment to be able to do the wedding. And me and my wife did it together. She kind of just helped me administratively, and I photographed everything, and I loved it. It was a lot of fun, like a lot of high pressure.
Were you happy with the pictures and everything when they came out?
On the day it was done, it was good. But I look back now, and you
could have done better. Obviously, well, I mean, geez, you're look how long you've been in it, and you've been doing a good job with it, and so you get better and better, I'm sure, at that profession.
So after that, it was kind of like the eye opening of like, hey, we could do this. We could probably do this. And so I did it part-time for roughly about a year and a half or something, and got busy enough between my day job and the photography on the weekends and nights.
What'd you do before?
I did a handful of things.
Yeah.
So in college, I was an intern for Walt Disney World.
Oh, wow.
In Orlando.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Good grief.
And did that for like...
Interesting.
It was a custodial job, but it got me business elective credit for I attended some business classes and stuff out there while we did that. It was great. On paper, it was like, what am I doing? Custodial, bathrooms, trash. Like it was, but it was perfect for me because I got to walk the parks and interact
see the
with
behind
people.
the scenes. That's kind of neat.
And then when I came back, I actually went through kind of the ranks of CVS Pharmacy, Osco Drug, and then CVS Pharmacy, and went from clerk to store manager. Ran pharmacies up in Tucson, and then I transitioned out of that. Retail's not the finest thing.
It's tough. It's a tough business. Yeah, anybody in retail knows.
Then I got in with Mission Linen and Uniform. Did like route running for uniforms, mats, mops. Real stinky job.
Did that kind of help you along doing these different jobs and testing the waters, while you're young and everything? Did you kind of help you go, none of this is for me. I really want to do that other thing, full time. What was consistent was you continued to bump up on that ceiling. Yeah. And, if you wanted to like improve and grow and do things different, it was always like there's always some type of infrastructure that stopped you, the management rules, policies, stuff like that. And that was the thing. I was always hitting that, So I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to kind of be able to explore. If you had a way to do things better, like go and do it, And so that's kind of what I did with Mission Linen again. Kind of did that for about 4 years or something. That was a surprise. It was supposed to be just an in-between. Yeah. And that was and kind of the continuous point through all that was people, and that's kind of what we'll get into with the photography is people. Yeah. It was always relationship building. It was always, how do you deal with a wide range of people. And that was the thing with the linen driving was, I got to know a lot of different people, and they'd hear about, that I did pictures on the side and stuff. And so I'd get a little bit of business from just talking and doing that. And that's kind of where it grew to a point where I couldn't sustain both. Yeah. And so lined it up in a summer where I could kind of do some vacation and get some time off, put my 2 weeks in, and kind of launch full-time photography. Was that scary for you guys? Or was it, who was more scared, you or your wife? Probably my wife, yeah. Easy. Yeah. Yeah. I had enough business set up for about 6 months. Okay. And I was like, that's pretty good, actually. A lot of people don't start businesses with much. So, right. Yeah, that's actually good. And so I was like, if we fall on our face in 6 months, I did really well with the linen, and I was like, I knew I could go back to that real easy. I actually won an award right when I left. Yeah. And so it was kind of cool to know I could fall back on that, and I kind of made sure that those bridges weren't burned or anything. Right. So, keep a safety net. Yeah. And so, nice. But yeah, it just continued to grow and sustain. Thank God. So. All right. Well, that's cool. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. Let's talk a little more about photography itself, and we'll hear more from Bill Bonner at Rain Photography coming right up next. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. This is the Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios, keeping it real.
Discover excellence in real estate with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty, your premier choice in Cochise County. Sherry's amazing team brings honesty, expertise, and a deep understanding of the local market. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned homeowner, they're committed to your peace of mind and handle every detail for you. Their approach? Personalized service, above and beyond transactional real estate, building lifelong relationships, nationwide connections, local expertise. There's a reason this team is amongst the top realtors in Arizona and across the nation. You owe it to yourself to call or visit the Sherry Ethell Team, the top team at Long Realty, behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more info. Real integrity, real results.
Do uneasy markets have you waiting for the ideal moment to make home ownership a reality? Your answer lies in a conversation with Sherry Ethell and her exceptional team at Long Realty, a name synonymous with trust and reliability in Arizona's real estate landscape.
Hi, I'm Sherry Ethell, Realtor and Team CEO of the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty. Your ideal moment has arrived. We tailor our approach to you and your needs and goals. Let us put our extensive network to work for you and take the stress out of the process.
Whether buying or selling, remember the name Sherry Ethell and the Sherry Ethell Team. Visit the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard in Sierra Vista. Call or text 717-599-2439 or Google us for more information. Real integrity, real results.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Keepin' It Real. This is Keepin' It Real, brought to you by the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm Dion Ethell, and I am your host if you're just tuning in. I've got Rain Photography, Bill Bonner, in here, and first time we've had a photographer on the show, so glad you're here, Bill. And we've been talking about a variety of different things kind of centered on photography, but we haven't really drilled down a lot yet. Tell me about what kinds of photography that you do. I mean, what's your staple, I guess, and give me your range of things that you do for the community here.
Sure. So as far as like services go, I do just about everything. The only thing I don't do is boudoir. Boudoir is the only service that I don't offer. So I do everything from, family, kids, pets, to events, to weddings.
You keep it PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13 is pretty safe. Yeah, and
that's interesting.
So then I'll get into events, weddings, and then headshot photography, professional stuff, corporate stuff.
Yeah.
So advertising, a little bit of real estate every once in a while, and stuff like that. So the key is with me, being in a smaller community and being full time.
Yeah.
I have to be pretty diverse. So I do a pretty wide range of photography.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I would say that the people seek me out specifically mainly for headshot photography, professional imagery, and then weddings. I do a lot of weddings, and even destination work.
Do you do many graduation pictures? Because I know you've done everybody in our family.
Sure.
In fact, he's got a box here from my last graduate here. So
yes. I like I said,
do you do a lot of them?
I don't know what a lot would be.
Okay.
I'd say I'd say between 6 and 12 a year or something like that.
So you do a handful of them.
Yeah. So it's just one of the many things I do. So it's just kind of the variety.
Weddings. That's got to be a pretty, I don't know, to me, from an outsider's perspective, one, it would make me nervous. It's the big day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you only get one, hopefully one shot at it.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a pretty important day. Everybody's looking at the pictures, everyone wants to see the pictures afterwards. My wife still pulls out our video on a disc,
Sure.
And we have to dig out the disc, to be able to play it. So, do you ever get nervous for a photo shoot for wedding?
So I kind of thrive on it.
Do you?
Yeah, it is something that excites me and gets me going. I'll tell you, like physically, maybe I lose my appetite that day.
Yeah.
I kind of don't eat much on that day, just because of the little bit of nerves getting started. I do a lot of planning with the couple and kind of try my best to kind of pick, lay out kind of an expectation of what this is going to be and look like. And like I said, been doing it long enough where every wedding's different.
Yeah.
And every wedding's unique, but I love being able to kind of walk them through that process. And, I stress to them, you're not going to remember everything. You're not going to remember. It's a fast day.
Yeah.
It's a fast day. And so, the pictures are what's going to stay for you to be able to remember back on, like, oh, those people were there. That happened. Oh, this was funny. Oh, this, it'll trigger all these memories. As you kind of reflect back on that day. And I didn't even know this person was there. I didn't even know, or I completely forgot that, So stuff like that is just kind of fun for me to allow them to relive that day with. And I always tell them, like, you have to like your photographer.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend more time with me than you are with your spouse that day.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be around. I'm going to be running around and doing stuff and interacting. And so it's important that person that you pick on that day kind of you mesh well with.
Yeah. Well, and if people didn't know you, so you're kind of a funny guy, and you're pretty easygoing, very laid back, and make people feel pretty comfortable anyway. But you seem like the type of person who would like to get those candid pictures of stuff going on, whether they're funny or whether it's a moment or whatever. Do you do that a lot? Do you like to do that?
So there is a skill in photography along the lines of like a photojournalism type vein, and it applies to these events and stuff like that, where you have to be able to see all these random pieces in a room and how they're floating around and kind of interacting, and you have to be able to see not the future, but like see the potential of them kind of coming together and interacting.
Yeah.
And so as a photographer, you want to be ready. You want to be ready for that candid. You want to be ready. I might not be able to hear your story you're telling, but I can tell it's a funny one, right? And so I have to wait for the punchline, and then
catch them in the moment.
And then when their heads throw back and they're laughing out loud, boom, that's the picture, boom. And so you know, so it's kind of stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Or if you have like you have the one kid running around, you know, making a mess, not being paid attention to, you know, and you want to see like, okay, where's he going? He found this. Oh, what's he going to do with it? You know, I mean, like you can kind of interact with these random pieces as if you want to call it like a third party. Like I'm kind of the stranger, right? I'm the stranger of the day. And so I'm kind of floating around. I can kind of get in and out of situations because I don't know anyone really. Yeah. And so it's kind of interesting. Looking for those pieces. And so, you know, drawing back to the photojournalism piece, like when you talk about like street photography or events and stuff like this, you know, you have to be able to kind of see the pieces in a big room and how they're going to interact at like see macro and understand when they're going to interact micro, and then be ready for it. Oh wow! You know, and so then the next layer is like lighting, background. Yeah, the actual photography piece, all the elements that you need. Do you ever find that when you're trying to get that candid moment, it might not always be perfect for a photo? How do you deal with that? Yeah. You're saying like if I get the image, but maybe it's not perfect? Yeah. Can you edit some of that stuff or, you know, a little bit? Yeah. I always say it's a creative cropping or creative licensing, you know, you can kind of take out anything that's maybe a distraction. Yeah. You know, you get into the visual art. Because it's kind of hustle bustle at a wedding sometimes. You know, there's a lot of people moving around. You get what you get. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like at the end of it, you get what you get. It's not a second take. Yeah. Man, I wish you would have been my photographer at my wedding with Sherry. She actually made her own bouquet, and she was in there fixing it right before the wedding. We were getting ready to go from the hotel, and she's literally snapping every head off of every flower on accident because she's so nervous. Yes. And it's making me nervous. She's fidgeting a little bit. Yeah, she was just like snapping them off, and she was getting all panicked. And she's all in tears, and you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? But I'm sure all kinds of moments like that. You probably see some pretty funny stuff going on. Yeah. No, I mean, I shoot on average maybe 12 to 24 weddings a year. Wow. And so I've been in business for about 11 now, so that puts me over 200. You know, I'm pretty easily reaching 200 weddings over having photographed the whole time, and so you have your things. You know, I tell you, if you talk to some photographers, they either love or hate weddings. Oh yeah, I'm sure. It's kind of the breaker of a photographer. It's like if they don't like it, like, they quickly fall out of love with photography, and so you have to really kind of embrace what that looks like and what that day is and what that event is, what that job is. Well, I would think too, if you're like not enjoying shooting the event, that probably shows through a little bit with your photography, I would think. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You know, when you have the photographers go from hobby to professional, it can go sour. Yeah. You know, and that's just when you make your hobby a business, like in any industry, it can go sour real fast. It is tough. The lucky thing is, I guess, in some ways, is that there is some expectation of an artistic perspective, you know, with a photographer. You expect a little bit of creative license there, but just having somebody tell you how things are supposed to look, it's really confining for an artist, really confining. Yeah. And so you just kind of think, don't like that. Yeah. You probably get a lot of people trying to tell you what to do. Oh yeah, too, right? So you know, early on, you have to start. The kind of the words I live by was like, show what you want to shoot. Oh, okay. And so if I'm shooting, either that's in subject matter or in style. Yeah. So if I'm wanting to only photograph couples, I'm only going to be showing couples on my marketing, if you will, social media or whatever. Yeah. And if I have a different style that maybe a less traditional style, I'm only going to show those images online and promote with those images, so that people kind of, when they come into it, they come into that conversation, or they're looking to hire me, they understand like this is kind of already where they're at. It's going to be my style. And so that's kind of where you start. And that's kind of what you want to do when you start out with photography is if you don't like shooting it, don't show it. Yeah. You know, now if someone comes to you and say, hey, can you photograph this thing, whatever that is. And then that's your choice. Yeah, actually, yeah, I can do that for you. Right. Or I know you, I'd be okay with that. Or, whatever kind of the scenario is. But if they come to me and I've been showing couples and I've been showing kind of this flary, vibrant, maybe deep shadow type look of photography, and they come to me and they're like, "Hey, can you do the opposite?" It's like, have you been looking?
Right.
Like,
that's kind of what my style is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, so that's kind of where I start that conversation. In history, I've had really great clients. I love my clientele, and I don't really have a lot of really bad interactions with people. Because by the time they come to me and they approach me or want to hire me, they've kind of done their little bit of research where they feel like, oh, like I like this. I like the direction we're going here with this photographer. And then I take it from there.
Okay. That sounds like a good place for a break. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. I want to talk to you about relationships and how you build those to get that right spark in your photography when we come back. So Bill Bonner with Rain Photography. We'll be right back. This is the Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios. Keeping it real.
We're the real wayfinders, the trailblazers, the go-getters. In a town where the desert wakes before dawn, we don't just talk, we make things happen. And when we speak, it's real, it's genuine, and it's worth hearing. Tune in every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. on Canyon Country 97.7 FM. Join the Sherry Ethell Team for Keepin' It Real, where top realtors, local heroes, and the heartbeat of our community come together. Raw, authentic conversations, expert market insights, and the best local events you can't afford to miss. Keepin' It Real, celebrating our community. Bold, genuine, one of a kind.
Cochise County, it's that time again. The third annual Pups on Parade is back at Doc's Watering Hole Saturday, November 15th from 11 to 2 p.m.
That's right. Join us at Doc's for music, food, vendors, a silent auction, on-site adoptions, and of course the all-shelter dog pup pageant. 10 amazing dogs from our local shelter will strut their stuff down the runway, competing in fun categories.
This must-see event benefits the Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter in cooperation with the Sierra Vista Police Department and the whole team at Nancy J. Brewer Animal Care Center.
Want to help our pups? Businesses and any community member who just loves dogs can donate a basket for the auction or sponsor a pup. $300 for show dogs, $150 for dogs back at the shelter. Call 717-599-2439 for details.
Sponsors get their name up on the big screens at Doc's, on the social media, and shout-outs throughout the show. It's a great way to give back and help the community.
It's a family affair, so bring your friends and family, enjoy some great food, and meet some possum dogs at the big show.
It's Pups on Parade, Saturday, November 15th at Doc's Watering Hole, because every dog deserves their day. All right, welcome back. This is Keeping It Real with the Sherry Ethell Team at Long Realty Studios. I'm here with Rain Photography, Bill Bonner, and Bill has been walking us through his expertise and talking about photography. We had some, talking about the funny things you see at weddings, and he does a lot of them, a lot more than I actually thought you probably did. Now, what about when we left for the break, we were talking about relationships, and you kind of alluded to that a little bit. How do you click? How do you get people to click? And tell me some of that. Maybe you got a story or something.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you start with liking people. You start there.
you got to like people?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting into a people job and you don't really like them, I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to go for you. But I don't know. I'm a people person.
Yeah,
I
you
enjoy,
definitely are.
I enjoy talking to people and kind of getting to know people. And so, a lot of my photography was kind of developed based off of maybe bad scenarios. My wedding was great, but there was a lot of things that I felt were kind of left on the table. And we developed kind of our process and stuff with a lot of that experience.
Okay.
Personal experience. And photography, or being a photographer, there's a lot of psychology in it. There's a lot of psychology. How does that person feel with you, shoving a big piece of glass and metal in their face and saying, smile,
right?
And do it now,
right?
And so there are a lot of barriers that you have to kind of break through relationally, and then eventually you kind of have to tap in a little bit psychologically and be able to understand, like, they're self-conscious about this. They don't like this angle. Or, back a couple years ago with a different photography, they had this experience.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
And I had a bad experience, and my pictures were all bad, and, I don't want to duplicate that. They're paying money for this.
Right.
And
do you find that most people are a little, I guess, self-conscious about things? I mean, at least from my perspective, it seems like a lot of people don't like their picture taken, or they don't think they're very photogenic.
Mm-hmm. It starts from like a place of when you think of the last photo you've had taken of yourself.
Yeah.
It was probably you at a social gathering. You had probably nacho dip hanging out of your mouth. One eye was winky and the other eye was kind of open, looking the other way. You know what I mean? And you're like, your guts, you're kind of like slouched over maybe, and your guts showing, or whatever the scenario is.
Yeah.
That's what
not
most
always
people,
flattering.
Yes, it's not the most flattering thing. And so like that's kind of like where people start when it comes to photography. It's like when
they think of that.
Yeah, they think of that. And it's like, dude, and now it's blasted all over it's my aunt's, profile picture, and I'm in the background looking like that. You know what I mean? Like
that's kind of a hurdle for you, though. Jeez. Holy cow.
So there's like a little bit of trust building there, right? I always tell people, I'm not gonna sell you bad photos. Like I'm not gonna take a bunch of horrible looking photos and be like, hey, you want to buy these? It's gonna be.
That's true. It's funny.
It's like, how can I make you look the best, feel the best, and then look at these images at the end and say, oh man, I've never looked better than that. And whatever the difficult scenario is, kind of navigating through that. So there's a little trust building. I'll take a couple photos, I'll show them. Okay. Hey, look how great this one is. And then if they're like, hey, if maybe I like that photo, and then they see maybe what they're self-conscious about. Yeah. And like, oh man, can you do something about X? And it's like, yeah, no, thank you for letting me know. We can navigate through that. And and whatever the technique and process is, I can kind of surmount any kind of obstacle, whether it's an eye, whether it's a size, whether it's just whatever someone has, because everyone has it. Everyone has something
everybody does
that they don't like or feel self-conscious about.
It is funny that you touched on something, though, too. When you do have a good photograph, when somebody actually catches that and you're like, wow, that's the best I've ever looked. You're kind of shocked that ended up you, and you're like, wow, that's amazing. Because most people take crappy pictures of you,
exactly,
or of yourself, and you're like, oh man,
exactly.
I remember one time I was out hunting, and of course, lots of pictures had been taken, and then somebody took a picture, and I was kind of to the side, from behind, and this is a long time ago, but I was like, who is that guy? And they're like, that's you. Oh my gosh, I'm fat.
Recognize yourself?
Holy crap, I look fat and gray.
Yeah. Who's that old guy in the back?
My gosh. Yeah, I was like, wow, I never want to be in another picture again.
You're right. It'll do it. I mean, I go through it. I'm like, oh man, I need to really sit up straight.
Help me lose weight, though.
Maybe it's a little motivation.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's kind of the idea. Yeah. I hear often, hey, Bill, there's too many options. Like you taking too many photos, too many good photos. Like I don't know what to pick. It's like I want to get there. If I show you your picture, you're like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, that's a four-letter F word. The four-letter F word in my book, man.
Fine.
So I'm not doing fine here. I'm going for great. I'm going for best. I'm going for those things.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
And so I always joke that way in regards to that response, because we're shooting again.
Yeah.
We're shooting again if you're saying fine.
What's your favorite kind of photography? Of all the things that you've shot, and because you have a pretty broad array, like you mentioned, small town, you got to do it all. But what's your favorite?
My
what
favorite's
do you love?
couples. My favorite's couples, yeah. Whether that's just a straightforward couple shoot, whether that's a wedding, whether that's a special event with just two people. Like, I love that. I love the romanticism of the photography, of the flare, the light catching, the interaction, like true love. I love capturing love, and that's kind of my favorite. If I had to say a number one, that was it. So I love to kind of take people out and kind of, this is what I tell people. I say, we're gonna go have an exploration and kind of like an adventure date with a creepy third wheel. You know, I'm gonna be in the bushes.
Awesome.
I'm gonna be in the bushes, like hiding. You know,
that's awesome.
You know, screaming out of the bushes, "Oh, kiss her!" You know, and just it's gonna be that. You know, it's gonna be that. And so, it kind of goes back into that interaction piece of like, how do you then take people and kind of make them comfortable in front of a camera, and how do they, you know, look natural. Or let's say they're natural. Let's say they're natural, a little weird, a little awkward.
Yeah.
How do you take that and make them look comfortable, you know, and have a picture that like, wow, they're great together.
Yeah.
You know, they look like you did catch that candid, you know. I always tell people it's a posed candid. You know, I'm going to help pose you to make you look natural and candid, and then come away with it like, oh, yeah, maybe who was the guy in the bushes taking your picture during this really special moment?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you know, in all this with photography is how do people find you? If somebody who's listening right now, we've been talking photography for a long time, really likes what you're all about, likes what you're talking about, you know, the fact that you're local too is awesome. How do they reach you? How do they find you?
Sure.
What do you have?
My website is real easy. www.reign.photography. And that's how it ends. It's just the TDL is a dot photography. So Reign,
I didn't even know there's such a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, nowadays they have, you know, .ninja, .guru.
I learn something every day. I learn stuff on this show all the time. So dot photography.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you typed in Reign.photography, boom, you're there.
You're there. Okay.
On Facebook, it's like reign.photography.az. I'll be on
You'll
there.
pop up. Okay.
And then Instagram, I do Instagram, but I do all cell phone photography on Instagram. And so kind of try to explore myself in a different avenue.
Okay.
So,
that's always kind of cool. That's one of the things. So before we go, I wanted to touch base on that. So we talked about that in the very beginning. Obviously, the cell phone being a great tool that it is, you know, the cameras get better and better and better. And so you have basically billion people out there using a phone taking pictures. And so you're now kind of in a little bit of competition. And it's kind of weird with social media and the way it's kind of gone. You now have this, I don't know, amateur thing that's almost desirable to people to get that realism and everything. How does that impact you?
Yeah, no. You know, we kind of pointed to it a little bit. It goes back to people.
Yeah.
It goes back to people. You know, you can drop a camera on the ground and take a good picture. You know, if the scenario is perfect and
right, every squirrel gets a nut.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so yeah, I love when people are kind of exploring that idea and that art, if you will, of like taking a good photo or hey, look at this. People show me all the time. Hey, I was on a trip. I took these photos. Check these out. Yeah. And every once in a while, I'll even get someone like, hey, can you help me? You know, critique me. Yeah. And I'll walk them through like, okay, well, you do this, or maybe I'll take the photo and I'll edit it and kind of shape it a little bit and and show it to them. But what it goes down to is people and the interaction, and like you kind of pointed to a little bit too, you know, getting someone comfortable behind a camera and then getting the most desirable outcome from that. And so, you know, do I view cell phone photography part of the competition? No. Do I picture, you know, amateurs, you know, do I view, you know, people exploring it as competition? I don't, because essentially you're hiring the person. You're hiring Bill Bonner, you know, versus hiring the next person. And at that point, that's the consumer's choice. And so if the consumer likes your style and likes your personality, great. Like that was a good hire then. And so, you know, I definitely love to see people exploring the art and growing in the art and trying to improve in the art. Like I love the idea of people continuing on that way. But, you know, do I view it as like any version of competition? I do not. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting because it kind of is, and I can totally kind of understand, obviously being a professional photographer, and I've seen your photos and they're amazing. So it's pretty hard to duplicate that with a cell phone anyway. And just the moments and everything that you're able to catch, you've got that eye for it. Most of us don't have that, don't know how to reconstruct that. but at the same time, it's cool that you embrace it and that you're, hey, I love the fact that everybody's kind of coming to my world,
exploring it a little
it's
bit.
kind of interesting.
I mean, when I travel, like, guess who's the worst taking pictures casually?
Really?
Me.
No way.
And so when I travel, I do use my phone. I try to get the top iPhone at the time and stuff because of the camera technology and stuff.
Right.
And I do edit my stuff on the iPhone and stuff like that. So, but when I travel, that's how I take pictures, because I was just talking about this. When I take my whole kit, if you will, the big camera and the lights and stuff like that, I want that all the time. That's how I shoot with that piece of equipment. And so if I can't have all the pieces, then I'm just gonna I wish I had my whatever piece of equipment to finish the job. Versus like when I do travel, the convenience, not only the convenience of pulling it out of your pocket and just taking the picture and moving on, but it is what it is, right? It's a camera phone, and I'm taking this picture, I'm documenting the trip, documenting the people, and kind of doing it that way. And that's kind of why that Instagram is kind of set up that way.
That's a great way to say it. And that kind of close on this. Just, you mentioned document on a trip and everything. And I feel like kind of that is the way it is. You're kind of documenting an experience or whatever, versus your stuff instills a feeling. I mean, you can get some pictures sometimes when you're on a trip and you're documenting and you get a feeling, but it's not in every picture, Right. Whereas I've seen some of your shoots and I've seen, like, there's almost feeling in every single one of them, and that you captured, and you're like, wow, even just you talking about going from the three-dimensional world to the two-dimension photograph, and talking about the photograph of love, and that's what you like doing, and it kind of instills a feeling to you, and makes you kind of think about that subject,
right? Which
is cool,
right?
Yeah,
right. And my goal is to, at the end of the day, have something beautiful that you want to put on the wall and treat it as part of your decor. Yeah. It's your art piece, it's your wall piece on the wall of a moment. And the best part about it is it's you and your family. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my end goal.
Well, Bill, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. And I really, those of you who are thinking about professional photography, to get some for your family, your kids, your dogs, whatever it might be, a car. He's actually taken a picture of my car, and it's amazing. I want to blow it up into this gigantic poster. So yeah, it's really cool stuff. He does a great work. And Bill, I appreciate you coming on the show today, talking a little bit about photography.
I had a lot of fun.
I mean, we only hit the tip of the iceberg.
Exactly.
You'll have to come back.
Exactly.
We'll have to talk about something very specific, maybe.
Yeah,
so,
we can get into it.
Yeah.
We can nerd out. That's fine.
All right. Well, this is Bill Bonner, Rain Photography. Go check him out. And whether you're on Facebook or it's rain.photography for your website, all you have to do is Google that and you'll find him.
That's it.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. This is Sherry Ethell Team, Long Realty Studios with Keepin' It Real. We'll be right back after these messages.
In a town with heart and history, the Sherry Ethell Team is the key. Serving service that we agree for military law and retirees. Stress-free process you will see. Personal care is our guarantee. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team, we never halt. Experts here to guide your way, making dreams come true every single day. Trust a team that knows just what to do. The Sherry Ethell Team, working for you. Real integrity, real results. The Sherry Ethell Team is your one and only call.
Well, folks, that's a wrap on this week's Keepin' It Real radio show. As always, we're so grateful to have you spend part of your Saturday morning with us. Whether you're sipping coffee on the porch, out running errands, or out shopping for a home, we appreciate you. If something we said today sparked a question, or if you've got a great topic or guest idea for a future episode, we'd love to hear it. You can drop your suggestion in the Keepin' It Real suggestion box at the front desk of Long Realty, right behind Denny's on Fry Boulevard. Or just shoot me an email at sherry@sherryethelteam.com or call Call or text me anytime at 717-599-2439. We love hearing from you. It helps us keep this show real, relevant, and rooted in our Cochise County community. We'll be back next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on 97.7 Canyon Country, your first choice for legendary country.
Until then, stay safe, stay kind, and as always, keep it real, Cochise County.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Keepin' It Real radio show. Join us next Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. for more engaging interviews with top realtors and industry leaders, keeping you informed about the latest trends in real estate. Stay connected with us as we bring you updates on the dynamic events shaping our vibrant community. From exciting local happenings to noteworthy charities and causes, we've got you covered. See you next week for another edition of Keepin' It Real.